little bit late. But I believe we're live. There we go. Yes, we are. Okay. Alright, we're settled down now. We've got 16 drivers, I believe, or 17. As you can tell, Azerbaijan first up, and if I'm not mistaken, it is also the next track for the league racing happening on Thursday night. I am your host for this evening, Crash McQueen, as always on Friday nights, other than that one time where Blinn Machine stepped in for me, and I appreciate that a couple of weeks back. But two tracks coming to you in the multiplayer series tonight will be Azerbaijan, which you can see where we are at first, as well followed by Japan. So a couple of exciting tracks. Japan, of course, having a lot of passing opportunities, as Azerbaijan is actually quite a few drivers' favorite tracks as well as mine. I personally love this track from just the aesthetics as well as just the race. I feel like there's good opportunities to pass. There's a lot of 90-degree corners, which I'm a big fan of, and I'm able to somewhat hit so perfectly compared to just any other corner, but that's my personal view. Let me see if anyone has any other favorite tracks. Let me know in the comments or the chat below. I'll be sure to keep up with it as well as I can while commentating on this race. Like I said, it looks like we got 17 drivers here, random grid. We're about to get right into it here in Azerbaijan. I can't tell exactly. I think that's Jacko up in 2, so on the inside line, yes, it is Chunky Corgi starting first and Monkey Mafia third. It looks like Jacko gets the better jump and has the lead into turn 1. Best Pawn sends it to the inside of Monkey Mafia, and Chunky Corgi gets overtaken as well by the Best Pawns. We'll check out ZGS and Hotspot here, see what they're going through turn 2, and it looks like we already have a little bit of a collision and some drivers dropping down. Cake Thomas looks to be the one on the wrong side of that. Hotspot and ZGS are battling. ZGS gets the overtake into turn 6. Can everyone just make sure that my mic is okay? If you have a moment. Already a VSC is out, but I imagine we're going to get that taken away fairly quickly here, as every car is back up and going. Taking a quick peek at the position changes. Jacko steps up 1, Best Pawn's up 2, Chunky, Corgi, and Monkey Mafia 2 to Chunky, 1 down to Monkey, 4 ups for Jinnit. VSC is still out, so cars need to be sure not to exceed Delta pace. Looking over at the tire compounds, Jacko starts the only man other than Cake Thomas on the softs. Everyone else is on the mediums, potentially going medium to softs. It looks like we got green racing again here. Hotspot right now in 7th. He's going to look to try and get up to 6th, but it's actually Chunky Corgi who unfortunately spins out, and he's going to be dropping down the order already. Smith Pell misses his braking point. He smacks the wall there. Jinnit and Kaz are getting a little bit of a tussle there, and it looks like Jinnit is able to overtake now for 7th place. Yes, thank you very much, AJ Pringle. Much appreciated, man. ZGS is going to be trying to work on Smith Pell here in the slipstream. Now on the inside line, he's going to get the position. See if we can get a solid camera angle. Looks like we do. Actually, I think we'll have a better look from view of Hotspot, as Hotspot's also trying to overtake Smith Pell, both actually into the pit. Quite a few drivers are going to move up from the pit stop of Smith Pell and Hotspot there, getting some early damage. Going to change up their race strategy ever so slightly here, having to pit after lap 1. Jacko already holding a 3-second gap after lap 1. 13 in total here, so 12 to go. Currently on board with Kaz in 7th, but it looks like he's going to be actually in trouble, but we have another VSC. Oh, that kind of throws a wrench into things. I'm not sure why we got one there. Game's not being too nice to us this evening. It's actually Chunky Corgi DNFing, which I think is what did it. Not what you want to see so early on. Trying to keep those tires warm is what we're getting the swerves here from VTech. New driver into the grid here. We'll have to see what he's going to be able to muster up. All these drivers, we've seen before, and it looks like VTech misses his braking point there, just even off the VSC, and taps the back of Kaz. Doesn't look like it's going to harm him all too much, but kind of a little gentle reminder there from VTech that he is there. Looking like he's just kind of rocking with the default skin. Didn't change to any sort of separate livery here. But I mean, come on, Azerbaijan, such a beautiful track. Just look at the scenery around it. You're going right through the heart of Baku. Of course, that castle section in the middle of Sector 2 there is just gorgeous. So much history just around this track as well as around the city, and so it's a solid road course added. We actually see Jacko into the pit. Still trying to warm up their cars. Oh, that is a full-on safety car as well. I didn't notice it come out, but we do have an early safety car. So it's going to be a couple of laps before we were able to go back live. And once again, I thank everyone for joining me here. On your Friday evening. This is, of course, the first of 2 races here in the Midwest F1 League. The second, like I said earlier, being Japan. All these cars are going to join back up. It looks like no one's entering the pit. I don't think we're going to see anyone, but one more lap around this with the safety car is probably going to happen unless someone decides to pit to change a wing. If it's going to be anyone, it's going to be Knuckles and Hash who are going to serve their 5-second penalties, but they're on medium, so it may be a waste. Jinnit, Smith, Pell, and Tier the Tier all switch to the softs, feeling like they can ride those softs from this point out. Jacko, as well as pits, he goes on to the medium, so maybe looking to be able just to last out on overall pace, compared to a couple of quick laps like those softs are going to provide, and then they're going to die off, and that's where the mediums will take over. Hards, I'm not sure will have enough to get you through. The only man on them right now in the top 10 is Kaz. You have 2 cars in the back of the pack with the possible Bacon and Spaceman as well on the Hards, looking to make those last out the rest of this race. But mediums, I'd imagine, would be the way from this point if you were to pit. I'm not sure who is going to. Smith Pell is the last. There's the leader of the second pack there in Sector 2. Just finished up the castle section to catch up with everyone. I wonder if Kaz is coming into the pit. It looks like he is. He's just trying to get there as quick as possible. Which is a little confusing there, but I imagine we're going to see him go onto the mediums, as well as ZGS is going onto the softs. So Kaz is also onto the softs, feeling like those can last out the rest of this race. So the safety car is going to come in this lap. We're going to have to see where Kaz and ZGS come out of the pit. We'll jump right on board with Kaz, and it looks like he's just going to come in behind Smith Pell and races him into turn 1 and gets a little bit of a piece of him, trying to make up that position, but didn't really have much of a right to do so, and maybe taking a little bit of wing damage by trying that little maneuver there. Looks like everything's intact right now. Still going around with the safety car. It should come in this lap. And then we'll be back to live racing. Safety car unfortunately coming out, kind of throwing a little bit of a damper in this race so far, but I'm sure with 9 full laps to go we're going to have quite a bit of racing left. And with Azerbaijan it's going to be tight, and it's going to be nerve-wracking with all those walls separating you and the fans, which you do see on your right there. Finishing through the castle section. That final left-hander's a little bit tricky. You can take it quickly, but you don't want to ride that curb a little bit too high because you won't have any traction to try and pull through the rest of that turn. You're going to probably find yourself nicking the wall as well. But yes, the safety car is in. As you can see, it start breaking away. The Best Pawns is going to slow up the pack a little bit. Jacko right now sitting 7th. We'll have to see what he's going to be able to muster up. Hotspot behind as well as Jinnit. So there's a couple of quick drivers there from 7 to 9. It looks like we are going to go. Doesn't look like the Best Pawns is able to lose Monkey Mafia all too much. It's actually Haas that makes VTech lose out a little bit of time. ZGS getting an early overtake on Kaz there, as Kaz was a little bit behind the gun. Tier the Tier as well going and battling Cake Thomas the inside line, and Tier the Tier smacks a little bit of the wall. And then we got a little bit of ghosting action there from Impossible Bacon, just riding the car right through. He's just going to stay inside of him and gets a better run out of turn 2 there. Now Impossible Bacon as well gets an overtake. Jinnit to win it gets an overtake. And Jacko's already moved up a couple of spots there, and Jinnit's going to try and work on Knuckles. Knuckles a little bit in trouble here. We're going to get alongside and see what Knuckles can do in defense, but it looks like Jinnit with those softs are going to be able to send it around the outside, as well as VTech. He's going to be battling Monkey Mafia, and he blocks him off a little bit, and he's going to get to 3rd place. Jacko's as well working on Yolmir, and Jacko now has the lead into the stadium section, or sorry, the castle section there. Now Jinnit as well is on the hunt of Yolmir, trying to get an overtake there, and Yolmir opens up the door, and Jinnit with those softs are going to be able to squeeze right through and take that position. Now Jacko's going to try and work onto Monkey Mafia for 4th place here. Best Pawns already opening up a 2.5 second gap. Monkey getting a little bit of the wall. Now Monkey's under pressure as well from Jinnit. Jinnit is trying to stay on pace with Jacko here, and it looks like he's able to do so as Jinnit and Jacko are just weaving their way through the field here. And it's actually Hotspot, who I mentioned before, is moving down the grid. He's lost the position to Smith Pell. We're still going to have one more full lap before DRS is open, but as it stands right now, VTech doesn't really need it. He's in the slipstream of Hash. Hash is ahead. They match each other's break points. Monkey Mafia is in the pit after making some sort of contact there, and Hash, feeling the pressure, blocks off the inside line, and VTech is not looking to go for an overtake quite yet. Jinnit is going to put Jacko under a little bit of pressure here, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen into turn 3. Jinnit's trying to get into the top 4. He's going to want to overtake Jacko as soon as possible, being on those softs and Jacko on those mediums. We'll have to see what pace Jinnit's going to be able to bring out here. Nothing going quite yet. We're going to stay all bunched up through the castle section. Jacko doesn't have enough of a run on VTech to make a move quite yet. Hotspot once again losing positions, as this doesn't look like the track for him. He actually spins out and drops down the grid. Back onto Jinnit, coming through the castle, around, maybe looking at a move there, but nothing going. Once again, DRS is not open until next lap, so nothing will be able to happen quite yet. Unless Jinnit gets a really good run out of this little left-right S, but not quite close enough, but he's really increasing that gap. He's got some solid pace, and those softs are coming into play right now, but I think Jacko turns it up and is able to match the pace of Jinnit, and Jinnit doesn't have anything into turn 1, but it actually looks like VTech put a little bit of pressure on Hash there, but we'll get right back on with Jinnit setting the fastest lap here. Now may think of something into turn 3, but Jacko gets a little bit of oversteer. And Hash is under trouble now from VTech, but is able to defend fairly well. Now the best pawns may feel a little bit of pressure coming in behind him as the two drivers have caught him. Hash with a little bit of oversteer himself, but nothing going quite yet as these drivers are kind of just following each other through. The best pawns is going to be slowing up this pack a little bit here. And Jacko's looking at an overtake on VTech. VTech defends. Now at the inside line, Jacko might have to give way a little bit of a tap from VTech because he's got the inside. And I'm not sure if Jacko's lost any bit of his wing there. Oh, does Yolmir hit the back of Jinnit? He very well may have. That's not what you want to see, as Jinnit's going to once again have to re-overtake Yolmir. But right now, Cake Thomas is going to try and work on Smith Pell. Has he got enough going into that turn? Doesn't look like it's close enough. And oh, the Best Pawns spins out and he's going to drop down the grid. Best Pawns now into 10th. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to collect it now into 11th. I think he's got himself back on track here. But it's actually Jacko who's going to be able to get an overtake on VTech here. Once, even before DRS is open, he's surely just going to be able to make it go quicker here. And now Jinnit is just able to reach DRS. That long straight stretch of Baku. Hash and VTech pitting. Jinnit's going to go back up in a second. He's got a little bit of ground to make up to get back to Jacko. And now Jacko's got the advantage. 4-second gap between the two drivers, as well as Jacko on the mediums. Cake Thomas has pitted here, so you won't have to see him pit for the rest of the race. He's going to try and get onto the podium. Smith Pell is going to be under pressure here to try and hold and secure his first podium of the year, but unfortunately that little tap from Yolmir onto Jinnit is Yolmir's doing so far, as he was coming out of the pit and throwing on the softs. Jinnit as well on softs, but too big of a gap between the two drivers, and Cake Thomas does the overtake on Smith Pell early into Sector 2 here. Now on the podium, Smith Pell may be under fire as well from ZGS. Through that tight castle section, no room for two drivers to go through. They have to allow each other to go one by one. But it looks like ZGS has got some solid pace. And Smith Pell is over a second back. Hash seemingly gets an overtake to 9th. ZGS may be lining up something into turn 1 here. He's going to have DRS, gets a better run out of that final turn. And now into the slipstream, and the DRS wing is going to open. Unfortunately, Smith Pell doesn't look like he gets DRS, just a little bit too far back. ZGS getting the inside line, getting a clean overtake now into 4th place, and he's going to try and work on Cake Thomas here. Get right on board with ZGS. Is he going to... Does get DRS here, but I think that gap is a little bit too far. The tier is into the pit. Spaceman staying close to Yolmir, but Monkey Mafia has actually put Spaceman under pressure here and is able to outbrake into turn 2, and Spaceman actually concedes 2 positions to VTech, taking the inside line as well. Now VTech might try and work on Monkey Mafia. ZGS just outside, or just inside DRS, under a second, as that just creases, as these drivers are kind of flopping back from giving DRS to having no DRS, and VTech seems to be getting real tight on Monkey Mafia here into turn 4. Sorry, 5 and then into 6 here, my apologies. Nothing going quite yet. Monkey's still going to hold on to the final 10th place. Into that Donkey Kong car that we have so gotten used to seeing him in, but Cake Thomas actually grows that gap to 1.2, so now ZGS needs to find a 1/10 of a second somewhere in the next couple of turns here, or else he's going to not be able to get DRS, and maybe that gap for 3rd place may be too far gone. Jinnit has actually closed that gap 2.5 seconds since the last time I've taken a peek at him, so may be able to put Jacko under pressure in the final couple laps here, but Jacko's got those mediums. Oh no, ZGS spins out, hits a wall, and now he's got flaming hot tires. So ZGS is potentially going to get overtaken as well from Kaz for 7th place here. Kaz is going to the outside line, ZGS defending the inside, but it doesn't look like Kaz has got the pace into turn 1. ZGS's tires still a little bit too hot for him. Very well, potentially, maybe VTEC gets a pass. Now Kaz may be able to put ZGS under pressure, but a little bit of a wall is going to end that attempt, and now Monkey Mafia is going to try and catch back up to VTEC, but it looks like VTEC gets a far better run out of turn 2. Jinnit now just outside a second as he's putting in some crazy laps here, making up that ground on Jacko, but Jacko's a very smart driver. He may have some sort of trick up his sleeve, saving gas potentially, or fuel, not gas, they don't use gas, but saving fuel potentially maybe to use it later on. Jinnit's worked himself back within a second. Maybe those mediums don't have the pace that Jacko was hoping for. Jinnit's 6 laps deep on those softs, and this is a somewhat of a, not a turn heavy, but a hard braking, so it's going to keep the tires a little bit hot. And it's all about if Jinnit's going to be able to keep them cool enough, as well as keep enough. Sorry, a pass for 7th place from Hash there on Kaz, but if Jinnit's going to be able to keep enough tread, but it's not really tread, but keep enough grip with them, getting a little bit old here, but now in striking distance, the slipstream is open, the inside line as well, and Jinnit overtakes for 1st place, pushes Jacko into 2nd, but now Jinnit somewhat opens the line into turn 2, but Jacko does not opt to go for it. Instead, Jinnit looks like he's going to break away here. Kaz getting overtaken by Yolmir as Yolmir moves up into 8th. Jacko may actually have a look and gets real close and swings out to the inside line, but nothing going quite there yet. Jinnit is putting in some real killer corners here, not leaving much of an opening for Jacko. Back on with Kaz, 3/4 of a second out. It's actually impossible. Bacon, the best pawns, looks like to be the closest fight here for 12th place. The only penalty on track is a 5-second to Knuckles. That'll drop him down the order, so he's going to want to try and get a move on as much as possible here. Jacko's staying real close to Jinnit still. Jinnit may have overused his softs, but Hotspot retiring in the pits. Jinnit hasn't been able to shake Jacko at all, so Jacko is probably going to be able to come back at him into turn 1 here. Hash trying to get into 6th place over ZGS. Jacko and Jinnit seemingly having the same pace out of the final turn, but it looks like Jacko's got the better speed here, and he's got the DRS, he's into the slipstream. Does Jinnit have anything to defend with? As Jacko's going to try and re-overtake into turn 1. And Jacko doesn't have it quite yet, opts out of the move here. It looks like Hash is going to work on ZGS here. He's got the inside, he's alongside him now. Gets the overtake as well as Kaz does on VTEC, or VTEC does on Kaz, sorry. And now ZGS is going to drop back, and it is under pressure as well from Yolmir as Yolmir pulls alongside him. They're going to go wheel to wheel now into turn 2. And it looks like Yolmir is going to be able to edge out 7th place from ZGS. ZGS getting a little bit of oversteer there, but... Oh, Jinnit must have lost crazy. I didn't see what happened with Jinnit, but Jinnit was holding on to 1st place. Must have clipped the wall or something, but now the gap between him and Jacko... Oh, I think they came together and Jacko's reconceiving the position, as Jacko's done a couple of times here before. Maybe feeling bad for getting a little bit too much of Jinnit at some point on the track, and that's where the gap was opened up. But Jacko reconcedes the spot, and they're back to 1-2 as they were before. I think Knuckles is pitted, and now Knuckles is under some real fire from Hash. As Hash is trying to work on him. Knuckles currently sitting in 5th. Hash in 4th. Hash in 6th, sorry, trying to get into 5th. Doesn't look like he's going to have a move there quite yet. Now is Jacko going to have a move into turn 1? He's got a really good run here. Those mediums, surely the better of the two compounds as of right now. Hash getting an overtake on Knuckles here. Jacko right alongside Jinnit now on the outside line, but it doesn't look like it's going to matter as they're both going to be able to take a clean turn into turn 1. And now Jinnit getting a little bit of the wall is going to drop back, and now Yolmir's alongside Knuckles as well, as Knuckles is surely to lose another position. And yes, he does, into 7th place. Actually, he is pitting, and I guess he did not pit, so he's having to now. It looks like those mediums of Jacko are going to be the difference here. Jinnit opting for the softs, where Jacko going for the mediums, and unfortunately with Jinnit getting a little bit of contact early on, that seems to be the doing of his race. But VTech is still not done here. He's got the inside line as well as he's got 7th place, and ZGS drops down into 8th. Smith Pell just outside the podium. Cake Thomas is in a race of his own as it stands, but it looks like Jacko's going to be able to pull away from Jinnit here, saving a little bit of those tires, and knowing how many laps he had left to remake the move back into 1st place. He's only got one more sector to go, Jinnit does, to be able to re-overtake. We might have a decent little bit of sprint to the finish here. But right now we're in the battle for 4th place. Jacko's really trying to open up that gap, and Hash gets a little bit too much of an oversteer now. And is he going to come under fire here from Yolmir? I think Yolmir wants to line something up, but just the tight walls of Azerbaijan doesn't give you the option. Jinnit is too far back. Jacko is going to come over the line with the first win of the night in Azerbaijan. Smith Pell is trying to block off Hash. Jinnit is going to come 2nd. Cake Thomas surely 3rd, but 4th place is still very much up in the air. And Smith Pell may get Lance strolled here by Valtteri Bottas as he's trying to break the slipstream. We've got a sprint to the finish here. And Hash just barely beats him out by 9,000ths of a second. Oh, Smith Pell just barely loses out on 4th place. But his sprint to the finish was exciting, to say the least. Kaz is going to come 9th. Monkey's going to round out the top 10. Impossible Bacon, seemingly in 12th. The best pawns comes over after leading quite a bit of this race. Is going to come over the line in 11th. Possible, like I said, in 12th. No penalties left as Knuckles served his finals penalty, and he's actually going to finish on 1 lap old hards. Spaceman is finishing up the straight, as well as Tier the Tier is starting it. But Spaceman in 14th, Tier the Tier in 15th. Jacko, Jinnit, and Cake Thomas are your podium for the multiplayer series of Race 1 of the Friday night. Now, I don't want to say that I have a feeling what that patch for on the back of his suit is. It's a little bit too high, never mind. You know where I'm going with that, but Jacko coming over with the win. As I said before, Jinnit to win it, and Cake Thomas, the other 2 spots on the podium. Hash in a respectable 4th. Smith Pell just barely losing out for 4th place, finishing 5th. As we have 6 different nationalities in the top 6, so that's fun to see. VTech in his first race coming over in 7th, Kaz in 8th, ZGS in 9th, Kaz in 9th, Monkey Mafia in 10th, the best pawns 11th, Impossible Bacon 12th, Knuckles 13th, Spaceman 14th, Tier the Tier 15th, and the 2 DNFing is Hotspot and Chunky Corgi. We're going to get right back in to Japan coming up next, so that's going to be fun. Slalom is going to be a little bit difficult for some, but for others it's going to be the difference between them finishing 2nd and them finishing 1st, so we'll see what the difference is there soon enough when we jump to Suzuka and we can see 130R and that high speed left-hander where you can fully flat out taken in 8th gear, and there's a lot of passing around the outside, and people are going to be under fire there for sure. Only one DRS in Japan, and of course it is one of 2 FIA approved figure 8 tracks. And I saw rumors of the Saudi track. 34 turns, was it? That's freaking ridiculous. And they're also proposing a figure 8 in that one as well, so we'll have to see if that is true and is allowed. But like I said, Japan next. Not Japan short, regular Japan 25%. Yeah, the best pawns, I'm so unlucky. Yeah, man, you do have some bad luck in Midwest, that's for sure. Just going through our countdown here. What we do. Let's run over your Midwest NHL scores for the evening, as I've kind of turned that into a little bit of a tradition. Currently, as it stands, the Blues are beating the Coyotes 1-0 early on in the second period, and the Bruins were able to stave off the New York Rangers 1-0 for the win. And the goal scored in that Bruins game was by none other than Nick Ritchie, assisted by the wily veteran of David Krejci. So a little bit of a defensive battle on that one. As I continue to check my phone, right now as it stands at the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am, Jordan Spieth leads the way. Or does he get the win? No, he leads the way through the Friday, sitting at 12 under, followed by Berger at 11 and Norlander at 10 under. So very exciting stuff. Was it the Australian Open? Oh damn. It's the Aussie Open. I didn't even know that. I'm trying to pull up the Aussie Open. All I can tell you is the Canadians, because that's all it's showing for me right now. But I can tell you that Milos Raonic won his second, third round match against Fuchsovic, the Hungarian, as well as 2 Canadians in Felix Auger-Aliassime and Denis Shapovalov battled it out to Felix Auger-Aliassime, winning in straight sets, 7-5, 7-5, 6-3. Who cares about that? We're going to get right into Suzuka. Looks like Jacko once again, third here. Let's see what he's going to be able to do. Jin is all the way in the back there. Jacko gets an early overtake on Tier 4. Second place, he's leading into turn 1. It seems like best Pons and Hotspot around turn 1 here. Hotspot getting the position. Really flag, I think the cars went out. And Tier sounded like he smacked the wall. On safety car, but I could hear that. Yeah, he did. There he is. On the wall. Yeah, we have full on safety car after a couple of turns in with Tier in a dangerous position, and we hope that Tier is alright. But that is the end of his race quite early. I don't know why I'm shocked. I just hear the smack. Usually I'm not able to hear it because the wall is so close. VTech having the lead early on here. Hotspot up 3 spots, Jack up 1. Hatch up 8 actually. We'll have to see who's going to pit. The 2 early safety cars here in the 2 races. And I guess while we have that, we can have, I can tell you that if you're an Australian fan, you're not going to want to hear this, but Nick Carey was unfortunately was defeated by, what's his name? Diem. It is Dominic Diem. I'm not with tennis as much as I used to be, but Kyrgios Williams had the 6-4, 6-4 lead after 2 sets, but time, I think it's time. I think time. He came all the way back from 6-3, 6-4, 6-4 to beat up Nick Kyrgios in the third round. And Novak Djokovic beats the American Fritz in 5 sets. So a couple of cars off to the pit. That being Jack of the Best Balls, Kaz the GS Younger, Knuckles 89, as well as Funky Mafia sitting in the back of the pack here. Maybe we might see the safety car come in real early, but Jacko, something happens there. He loses it and smacks the wall. So I wonder if we're going to see him come to the pit once again. That damage on his left side of his wing there. As you can see, that left flap is gone. Rocking that gorgeously hideous blue and yellow, baby blue, and bright yellow livery scheme. Quick peek at the tires. The top 4 drivers are on the softs, the next 4 are on the mediums. Sandwiching Cake Thomas, the last driver to yet pit on the softs, the best balls, Jacko opting for the mediums. And we have some penalties being dished out. I'm not sure what happened there. I think there's a couple of penalties handed out to Possible Bacon as well as to Hash. 5 seconds to both. That's going to put a damper on their race, that's for sure. Going a slow way around 10:30R here. I think we're going to go one more lap around with the safety car. Unfortunately. And then we do see a couple of cars in the pit, that being 4. 5 actually. He's got a penalty to serve, so he's just going to say screw it and serves it right now, even though he's last. He's might as well serve it while he's last. So Janet, Cake, Jacko, Possible Bacon, as well as Monkey into the pit. Through lap 3, soft, medium, soft, soft. Still the top 4 drivers yet to pit. The next 2, Hash and Spaceman, have as well on the mediums. Exiting the pit on those softs. He's going to try and make the rest of this race. And pitting has hurt him early on here. All the way back in 16th. It's going to be a tough battle to get himself all the way back up to the top of this grid. But something that the man is capable of. We'll see if he's going to be able to do here tonight. Versus being race 2 of the MidWest multiplayer series. Once again, I'm Crash McQueen. Thank you. And join you, lovely folks, from Wednesday to Friday, starting at 6 a.m. Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, throughout the week for race time. Monkey, what the heck are you doing, dude? I was just talking you up as well. A good smack of the wall from Monkey Mafia there. Somehow he gets away with no wing damage here and says screw that turn. He's going to cut the whole thing, and I'm not sure he's going to be able to catch up. I think one more lap around with the safety car is sure to happen here. Oh no, the safety car is in this lap, so Monkey's got to try and do as much as he can to catch him back here in the last couple of turns. Ooh, I want to spectate. Kaz being on the softs there, we'll see if he's going to be able to overtake the best pawns. Go back at it, I'll actually jump up the grid. Doesn't look like anyone's too close. Hash seems to have the best attempt into turn 1. Kaz actually gets a really bad run. Missed times, unfortunately, and Knuckles early overtaken by Janet as well as Cake. And there you go. Chunky, Corgi, and Hash were actually battling around a couple of those turns there. Chunky's able to fight him off. E-Tech is trying to lose hot spot. Chunky goes off wide a little bit, rejoins back on right in front of Kaz, and Kaz is going to overtake now. Hotspot trying to stay with V-Tech, goes a little bit off course, and ZGS, ZGS and Chunky Corgi are both gone. And on Monkey Mafia to see what he's able to see there. Both are out on the right wall there. Just once again, I chuckle. And Janet has the inside line on Yomir. Yomir has no choice but to concede the position as well as Yomir gets overtaken by Cake Thomas as Cake Thomas is trying to stay with Janet here. Our podium currently sitting 8th, 9th, and 11th from last race. Hash overtaking Smith Pels. Hash is trying not to fall too far back. Hotspot has. This is a second and a half back from E-Tech right now as E-Tech's looking for his first podium. Still got 5th as well as the top 5 drivers too. So Janet and Kaz looking to battle around 130R, and Janet overtakes, and there's Cake Thomas once again. Once Janet overtakes, Cake Thomas is just going to take that gap as well. As Kaz opens up the both in there. And now Yomir trying to get on Kaz, but Kaz defending that inside line and actually goes to the inside. Doesn't look like Yomir has much of a line, but he's going to send it around the inside and gets alongside of Kaz. Kaz is conceding space, but not the position, and pulling back on the 9th place. Looks like we got a spin out, as I think that's Hotspot. Yes, it is. Hotspot's out on the side there. He's just going to have to try and get himself back on track. And oh no, the best pawns, because we have cars galore all over the place, and Hotspot's trying to avoid everyone here, and Monkey's just trying to make sense of the situation, and Yomir with a reset on track. Yep. Monkey's got to concede the positions as he overtakes them during the safety car, and we're gonna re-bunch everything back up, because just in that one section after going green, we had 3 cars gone. Down to 13, 4 out, 3 in a matter of a couple of turns. V-Tech still leading the way. Very vibrant car. Knuckles is walking. Yomir a little bit wide there. At least one more lap of safety car here. I'm not sure how many cars still need to pit. But everyone in the race has now pitted at least once. We'll take a peek at that. Who has done the double, and right now Jacko is actually doing the double. What am I saying? Sorry, Monkey Mafia has done the triple as well as Cake Thomas and Yomir have also pitted twice. Janet only once. Janet may be able to on the rest of this race on those softs with all these safety cars.
just waiting for us to get back to live racing, and this is the time where I have to try and fill up the space with talking and interesting stuff to keep this stream somewhat entertaining while there's nothing going on. But if you have a moment of your time, please go give us a follow on the other social media platforms that we are a part of, with that being Instagram as well as Twitter. Give us a follow on Twitch, is very much appreciated. We're trying to get to 125, we're at 123 as it stands right now, and we won't be able to get there without your help. MidWest NHL League. Hey Pringle, I didn't see that you said that. Not sure how many people are actually in the NHL here. Of course, man, gets spun out again, then T-bone. Yeah, I saw you get T-bone. That blows, man. Best Pawns has got some worse luck in MidWest. It happens. It just follows people. Yolmir had that for a while as well. JC as well, or J Chase. League is very happy to have everyone that does come in and out of the broadcast, as we wouldn't be the same with all of you lovely folks that tune in from time to time, as it shows the appreciation and the fact that we do this for you from Wednesday through Friday, starting at 6:30 Pacific, 9:30 Eastern, as well as all the videos from Division 1, Division 2, Division 3 get posted right up to YouTube. Also our Wednesday and Friday night series, with Wednesday being F2 and Friday night being the multiplayer series, which you are currently viewing. Multiplayer is a little bit of a different one. We do 2 25% races, random grid, with whoever joins up for that evening. It's first come, first serve. We don't have any specific teams going into it. We tried that at the start, but we just said screw it. Whoever just joins, joins. And we had guys check in, but unfortunately no show us. So that's why we're sitting right now with 17. And this race we're sitting with 13 because of a couple of crashes. And that first being tier to tier right on lap 1 into turn 2. So he smacked the wall, and then off the restart we had the Best Pawns, ZGS, and Chunky Corey all go out as well in the slalom section. The Best Pawns going up majestically, getting just T-bone. So, some fun stuff. We're back in green. Jinnit holds on to the lead right now. Jacko currently in third. We'll have to see if he's going to be able to muster up here. Spaceman and Hash already in a quick little tussle, as well as Cake Thomas and Hotspot, as Cake gets an early overtake into turn 1. Hotspot's trying to ride it, but it looks like Cake's got the pace there. Hash as well gets an overtake onto Smith Pels. Hash trying to move his way up the grid on those softs, and he's going to try and work on Knuckles. Knuckles being on 5 lap old mediums, and it goes well, is going a little bit wide onto the grass, and ooh, Knuckles is off, as well as Smith Pell too. I think Smith Pell spun to avoid. But we'll jump right back onto VTech, as VTech may think about a look at the inside, but it's actually Jacko that gets the inside line on Kaz. Kaz now under pressure from Impossible. It looks like Impossible gets a little bit of oversteer. Now is having to defend off Impossible. Bacon as they tap. Impossible's going a little bit on grass, off grass, on grass, off grass, and nearly hits a bit of Kaz on his way back on the 4th time over, it seemed. But VTech is the one who's looking like the dangerous one. Impossible, Bacon as possible. Nearly had an overtake on Kaz, but he's able to get the pace and around the hard left-hander of 130R. Cake Thomas overtaking Smith Pell in the back of the pack there. Now Hotspot looking to as well do that on Smith Pell. As the inside line onto 130R, and Hash overtaking VTech now into turn 1. Hotspot did get that move done, and Impossible Bacon drifts around turn 1. Kind of comes back on track and nearly cuts off VTech. VTech is able to get the overtake done in the end, though. And now Hash is trying to work on Kaz. Jinnit currently with first place. Is he going to be able to hold on to it for the rest of this? Still quite a bit of laps to go. A couple of drivers in the back of the pack pitting here. Kaz under fire for the final podium position. Kaz also having the penalty there, so that's going to make things a lot more difficult. And now Hash sends it to the inside of Kaz and gets the overtake, kind of gets his elbows out a little bit there, and now is in the third step of the podium, and now VTEC's looking to come at Kaz as well, but doesn't fully attack it. Kaz getting the better pace around that turn, with VTEC pulling out. Possible Bacon and Monkey Mafia are getting closer now. DRS is still not open for one more lap here. Once again, 13 drivers still left in this race. Kaz trying to make up the ground on Hash, but Kaz actually has the older of softs here, so Hash has the pace advantage. We'll see how long Kaz tries to make those last, but he's probably going to have to go the rest of the race at this point here, or else he's going to drop way down the order, probably 10th or 11th there. VTEC may be able to muster something up on Kaz here with the fresher softs. Cake is into the pit. Cake actually retires in pit. Hotspot as well retiring in pit. Not the race for them. They're surely expecting a little bit more, so we're going to have someone different up on the podium for race 2 here. Right now it stands 2 of the 3 from the first race in Jacko and Jinnit. Hash currently sitting with that final position, and VTEC wanting to get a little bit closer. Kaz opens it up, gives the room to VTEC, but does a good job of sending around the outside, keeping that pace, but the better launch comes from VTEC, as now VTEC is going to try and put Kaz back under pressure here. See what kind of view Impossible Bacon has, as these two are fighting, and a little bit of a tap from VTEC, and both drivers spin off course. Spaceman moving up, Kaz trying to get himself back on track. Monkey working on Yulmir now, as they are wheel to wheel, and the position changing is happening here, but Monkey is not able to make the move stick. Jinnit setting the fastest lap, setting a 3.5 second gap as well between him and Jacko. But unlucky stuff for Kaz and VTEC as they came together at one point there. Yulmir trying to work himself into 4th place and get some solid points here. Trying to come back at Possible, a difference of 3 laps on the 2 sets of softs here. Yulmir seemingly having the pace, and Impossible Bacon is under fire for 4th place, and Yulmir trying to creep around the inside line there, and now he's got the better run, but he's nearly out of DRS, but Impossible Bacon is completely out of DRS, and Yulmir gets alongside him and gets a little bit of that grass as well. Possible has the inside line, but Yulmir sent it around the outside, like he did last lap with Monkey Mafia, and kind of cuts a little bit of that turn there. And now by doing so, kind of gives himself a worse line coming back into the straight stretch. Possible is the only one of the trio without DRS, and defends the inside line. By doing so, somewhat cuts off Yulmir, and now goes back to the outside, and almost opening up the position for Monkey to go in as well, but Yulmir is the only one to move up a spot, taking the 4th place away from Possible. Now Possible is going to have to try and hunt down Yulmir if he's going to want to try and get back into the top 4. But Monkey is also trying to work himself into that top 5 as well, currently sitting 6.5 seconds out of these 2 drivers. Kaz getting close to VTEC, as those two have got a little bit of beef now with that crash earlier on, surely ruining both these drivers' race. Still in the top 10 with there only being 11 drivers left here, but Possible is seemingly losing seconds every corner to Yulmir, as Yulmir has the pace advantage over the 2 drivers. looking like Jin is going to be able to come home with that win, but is Jacko safe in second place? 5 seconds separate, 4 seconds, sorry, separate him and Hash with a 5-second penalty. Hash is going to move up into second, so Jacko will still get the double podium, but he's not going to get second place, which he so rightfully desires. Possible still with the penalty. Looks like he's going to drop back behind Monkey after everything is said and done here. One full lap to go here as the leaders are around turn 1, followed by Hash trying to catch up as well. Hash has just got to stay within 5 seconds, and right now he's actually chopping a little bit of that gap down on Jacko. As Hash is showing some pretty solid pace here. That was kind of cool. I'm not sure if you heard that, but I believe that was Smith Pell coming around 1030R there, or 130R there, sorry, while Monkey Mafia, or sorry, Hash was going underneath it. So you can hear what is the figure 8 track here in Japan. Can Monkey close the gap to Impossible Bacon? I'm not sure if he's got enough track left. Neither does Jacko. Jacko's trying to increase that gap. It's 4.2 right now between him and Hash. But it looks like Jinnit is going to take the win here. Showing some solid pace here tonight. Getting a little bit unlucky, but Jacko comes over the line with second place. Is Hash going to be able to overtake it? Looks like he will. Into second place he goes. And doesn't look like there's enough track for Monkey Mafia. Maybe needed a lap or two more to get it done. But Impossible Bacon in fourth. Yulmir in fourth. Impossible Bacon comes over the line in fifth. But Monkey Mafia gets it with the penalty to Impossible. Spaceman drops down into eighth with the penalty. VTech in seventh. Kaz in ninth. Smith Powell is going to round out the top 10 as there's still quite a bit of track for these two to finish up here. So still something may happen if Smith Powell loses a little bit of control. Knuckles may be able to close the gap, but right now sitting 11th place. Smith Powell about to come through 130R here over the bridge, which is kind of a hidden bridge. You don't really see it as a bridge, but it is one. You just kind of go through it so quickly that you can't tell. But we are about to see Smith Powell come over the line for 10th place, being one of the drivers that does finish this race, as we did lose 6. Quite unfortunately, but Smith Powell in 10th. Knuckles in 11th. We get 2 double podiums, that being with Jinnit and Jacko and Hash, and Cake Thomas, the only other drivers to get a podium here today in the multiplayer series. So solid stuff all around from all these drivers once again on a Friday night. But that'll be it for the races this evening. I'm really hoping that you do enjoy the product that we give you on a daily basis. And by daily, it is only Wednesday, Thursday, Friday daily, but still enough. Quite a bit. So we try and provide as much as possible with all the drivers that we have here in the MidWest F1 League. We've got a solid community, a lot of good guys, and we're very proud of what we've accomplished and built. And if you do enjoy what you are watching, please give us a follow, as we very much appreciate it. Well, we'll run through the order once again, going with Jinnit, Hash, Jacko, Yulmir, and then Monkey with our 5 different nationalities, and Impossible Bacon, another Brit supposedly, in 6th, VTech in 7th, Spaceman 8th, trio of Canadians going Kaz, Smith, Bell, and Knuckles, 9, 10, 11th, Hotspot in DNF position, as well as Cake Thomas, Best Pawns, ZGS, Chunky, Corey, and Tether Tier. But that will be it for us here in the MidWest F1 League for the evening. I really hope you enjoy the product that we put on for you. If you do so, like I said, give us a follow across all of our social media platforms. If you very much appreciate all the support. But you have a good rest of your Friday or Saturday if you're in Australia. That is about it for me. If you're in Canada, enjoy Family Day long weekend, as I sure as heck will. So I'm going to get on to that, and I hope you get on to your weekend as well. So I'm glad that you did stop by for this Friday night. But once again, I have been Crash McQueen. We have been the MidWest F1 League, and we will be seeing you Wednesday.